Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar session. Children, this is the second session on integration chapter. I think you all have enjoyed your first session. The first session was actually the continuation of differentiation chapter, which you have learned in your intermediate first year. Also, a recall of all the formulas and continuation of integration both will help you in solving the problems in future. In today's session, you will be learning about solving of integration problems with the different types of solutions like substitution method and so on. So our teachers are working very hard. For that sake, you have to compulsorily attempt the questions which are being given in the end of the session. Now the session will be continued by Purnima.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, children. Good morning, my coordinator Deepa madam, Shailja madam, and Sridevi madam, and all other principals. Good morning. A very happy morning, children. I hope everyone enjoyed our first session of integration. Hope you have done the sums which I have given at the end. Only 2 sums I gave. So hope you have done it. Let us start our today's session, children, which consists of many sums based on integration, and one method, very interesting method we are going to discuss in today's class. That is method of substitution, solving integration sums by method of substitution. Okay. So before going to that, let us once see what you have learned in the last session. Dear children, so let us see what you have learned in the last session. We have seen that integration is the inverse process of differentiation. So what is in integration? It is nothing but inverse process of differentiation. So we are very much familiar with differentiation. So it is the inverse process of differentiation. And next one is what? If the derivative of a function f of x, if the derivative of a function f of x is small f of x. Here just a small difference I am showing in the f, children, make a note of it. If the derivative of a function f of x is f of x, that is, if d by dx of derivative is nothing but d by dx, now d by dx of f of x is equal to f of x, then we say that this f of capital F of x is the antiderivative or primitive of f of x. So this we have seen in the last session, children, how it is derivative, and a few more examples also we have seen. Means from derivative and to integration, how it is, we have seen in the last session. And the next what I have seen, if f of x has an antiderivative f of x, then we say that f of x has an integral for any real constant c. We call it as f plus c. We call f plus c as an indefinite integral of f, denoted by, how do we denote it? Integral f of x dx is equal to f of x plus c. Always remember, children, when we are dealing in this chapter, we are dealing with indefinite integrals. So here the last, at the end of the integration, for the integral whatever you are getting, integral is nothing but the solution what you have got after integrating this function. Okay, so for this the last the constant should be added. It is must. So why it is added, in the last session we have discussed. If you have still any doubt, once you again go through the video, children, okay, so it will be very much clear to you. So what is, how do you read this? Integral of f of x dx is equal to f of x plus c. This c is the constant of integral. Next thing what you have seen, the f of x, if suppose integral f of x dx is equal to f of x plus c is there. So what is the notation? Means what each term in this is representing, let us see. This symbol is representing what? Symbol of integration. Next is what? F of x is the integrand. Integrand means the function which is to be integrated. F of x is called as what? Integrand in the variable x. Whatever is there variable here, that is called means integrand in that variable we say. Okay, here x is there means in variable x. If t is there means we say in t. So like that we say it. Okay. Next one is what? Dx is called as what, children? Infinitesimally small x. Why it is infinitesimally small? In the last session we have seen in the diagrams. When you are reducing the width of the rectangles, that x is going on reducing. So it becomes very small. So that is your dx. And next is what? capital F of x. It is called as integral value of f. This is the final solution what we get. And C is called as what? It is the constant of integration. So these are the things what we have, which are very, very important, children. And next thing, what you have seen, what else we have seen in the last class? Integral properties of integration we have seen, children. That is integral f plus g of x dx is equal to integral f of x plus integral f of x dx plus integral g of x dx. Means if sum of two functions are there, that we write as, that we split as two separate integrals. And next thing is what? If difference of the functions are there, that is if integral f minus g of x dx is equal to integral f of x dx, integral f of x dx minus integral g of x dx, integral g of x dx plus c. Okay, and next thing is what? Integral k into f of x, integral k into f of x dx is equal to k into integral f of x dx. This means whatever the coefficient you have for this function, that will come out as a coefficient for the entire integral. Dear children, into dx plus c. So these are the three important properties what you have seen in the last class. And next, let us see here. What is this k? K is nothing but an arbitrary constant. Here it can be any constant. So there is no limitation for k. It can be any constant. Dear children, now here let us see what you are going to learn, or what you are going to see in today's class or in today's session. Learning points. What are the learning points? Standard formula of integration. In the last class also I told you, still many formulas are there, are going to come on your way. Here in this class also we are going to see few formulas. Standard formula of integration. And next thing is integration by method of substitution. Very, very important, very interesting method of method it is for solving integration, integral value. Next thing is what? Integration of algebraic and trigonometric functions. Means few functions we are taking, children. That is, we are solving the sums by taking some algebraic functions and some trigonometric functions. So we are trying nothing but some examples we are going to see. So let us see here. What is some standard formula I told now. So let us see one by one what are those standard formulae. That is new formula which you are going to learn in this class. First one is integral 1 by under root of 1 minus x square dx. Here what is the function, children? 1 by under root of 1 minus x square. Means if any function is there in this form, 1 by under root of 1 minus x square dx is equal to sine inverse of x. See children, formulas are very, very important. You have to learn them thoroughly. Okay, until and unless you are thorough with the formulas, you cannot solve the sums. It is very, very important to learn the formulas, children. Always keep writing. Always writing gives you thorough practice. Thorough practice should be there, and more number of times you write the formulas, then you will be thorough with it. Clear? So be ready with your pen. I hope already you are having pen and book with you. So let us move on to the formulas, children. So this is what? Sine inverse of x plus c. Conditions are what? Mod x always should be less than 1, because it is there under square root. If this value is less than 1, then only 1 minus will become positive. Yes or not? So under root, square roots are there only for only negative values. We don't have square roots. We have only for positive values. So within the square root, we should get only positive value. So that's why here the value of x square should be always less than 1. So x square is less than 1, so obviously x should be less than 1. Is it clear? And next one is what? Here there is another formula, children. It is equal to minus cos inverse of x plus c. For the same sum, we can write minus cos inverse x plus c also. Why it is so? Because cos inverse x is equals to 90 minus sine inverse of x. In first year, you have learned this in trigonometric equations chapter. Sorry, not equations, transformations chapter. Trigonometric transformations and inverse trigonometric functions are there, no? In that chapter, you have learned it. Cos inverse x is equal to 90 minus sine inverse of x. So according to this, we can write it as minus cos inverse x plus c also. So it means depending on the requirement of the sum, we use the formula, children. Either this we can write or this we can write. Second one, what is the next formula? Integral 1 by 1 plus x square dx. Integral 1 by 1 plus x square dx is equal to tan inverse of x. is equal to tan inverse. It should be read as tan inverse. You already know it. Yes or not? Tan inverse of x plus c for x belongs to R. Next one is, it can be written as minus cot inverse of x. It can be written as minus cot inverse of x plus c. Since cot inverse of x is equal to, again same rule what you have seen here. Pi by 2 minus tan inverse of x. Pi by 2 minus tan inverse of x. Clear, children? And next let us see the third formula. Integral 1 by mod x into x square, integral 1 by mod x into under root of x square minus 1 into dx is equal to secant inverse of x plus c for what is the interval here? I subset to r minus 1 closed interval minus 1 comma 1 means among the real numbers these values means from minus 1 to 1 closed interval is given, children, means the end points are also included. So these the values which are there from minus 1 to 1, these values are excluded, children. On means at this values this function is not defined. Other than these values, rest of all other values, this function is defined. Clear? And next it is also written as minus cosecant inverse of x, minus cosecant inverse of x plus c on I subset to r minus 1 comma 1. Clear, children? So how it is means similar to this. Cosecant inverse of x is equal to 90 minus secant inverse of x. Clear? Next one is fourth formula. Sin hx dx. These are the hyperbolic functions, children. Integral of sin hx dx is equal to cos hx plus c for x belongs to R. Fifth one is integral of cos hx dx is equal to sin hx plus c for x belongs to R. Next one is integral of secant hx, secant h square x dx, secant h square x dx is equal to tan hx plus c, x belongs to R. Next one is integral cosecant h square x dx is equal to cot hx plus c. Here what is the interval here? X belongs to I subset to r minus 0 means except at 0 rest of all values are valid for this function. See, always remember, children, one important point I'll tell you, because most of the times children will do mistake here, children, where means secant h square x, always the square should be written after h. But usually you may means children may go wrong here. Secant square hx children will write. So make sure that always square should be written for h, not for the ratio. Clear? It is not secant square hx, it is secant h square x or cosecant h square x, sin h square, like that. Okay, always the square should be written for the h. Next one is integral secant hx into tan hx dx is equal to minus secant hx plus c, x belongs to R. Next, let us see the ninth formula, children. Cosecant hx into cot hx, cosecant hx into cot hx is equal to minus cosecant hx plus c, x belongs to I subset to r minus 0. So except at 0, rest of all values are applicable here. Next one, what is the 10th formula? Integral 1 by under root 1 plus x square dx is equal to sin h inverse of x plus c. Integral 1 by under root of 1 plus x square is equal to sin h inverse of x plus c. And there is another formula for the same function, log x plus under root of 1 plus x square plus c, base e, children. Whether base e is given or not, it should be understood as base e only. Clear? So what is the formula here? For this function we have two formulas. One is sin h inverse of x, another one is log x plus under root of 1 plus x square plus c. Clear, children? So remember the formulas. 11th one is 1 by under root 11th one is 1 by 1 minus x square dx is equal to tan h inverse of x plus c. So what is the formula? 1 by 1 minus x square dx is equal to tan h inverse x plus c. Okay. Now like this we have the formulas, children, and one more formula is also there. 12th one is 1 by under root of 1 by under root of x square minus 1 into dx. Integral 1 by under root of x square minus 1 into dx is equal to cos h inverse x plus c on 1 comma infinity. Okay, and there is another formula that is for the same function minus cos h inverse of minus x plus c on here the interval is changing, children, minus infinity comma minus 1. And third formula, one more formula is there, log base e x plus under root of x square minus 1 plus c on what is the interval here, 1 comma infinity. Next, minus log base e minus x plus under root of x square minus 1 plus c under root of x square minus 1 plus c on minus infinity comma minus 1. So here if you observe, we have 4 formulas and one more formula is also there. What is this? Let us see. Log base e x plus under root of x square minus 1 plus c x plus under root of x square minus 1 plus c on I subset to r minus closed interval minus 1 comma 1. Okay, children. So what is this here? We have, if you observe this one, we have 5 formulas are there. But here, just to see here, on 1 comma infinity, on the interval 1 comma infinity, we have 2 formulas. One is cos h inverse x and other one is log x plus under root of x square minus 1. And on the interval minus infinity comma minus 1, you have 2 formulas. One is minus cos h inverse of minus x minus log minus x plus under root of x square minus 1. Okay. And here there is a 5th one. It is what? Excluding these values. That is closed interval minus 1 comma 1. Excluding these values from the real number set. The rest, the remaining all values of real numbers. What is the value for this integral? 1 by under root of x square minus 1 into dx log x plus under root of x square minus 1. So what is the meaning of this? Let us see. You can understand it with one sum here, children. Let us see one sum. So what is the question here? Evaluate integral sin hx plus 1 by under root x square minus 1 into dx. So what is the question here? Evaluate sin hx plus 1 by under root of x square minus 1 into dx. X belongs to I subset to minus infinity comma minus 1 union 1 comma infinity. So here, if you observe here, this function is the formula what you have seen just now, the 12th formula. Yes, but here the interval, if you observe, these 2 intervals also you have seen in the formula. But whereas here, the condition is given as minus infinity comma minus 1 union 1 comma infinity. Union means what? What is the meaning of union, children? It is nothing but these values and as well as these values. Okay. So now here that is what here? Minus infinity comma minus 1 union 1 comma infinity means the values x is taking the values within this interval and as well as the values within this interval. Means what? Which values are excluded here? The values which are lying between minus 1 comma 1. Yes or not? See what I am showing here, children. See what I am showing. 1 second, children. Hold on. See here what I am showing, children. These 2 values, minus 1 and 1. Yes, here the minus 1 is not included. Here also minus 1. Here also 1 is not included because open interval is given here. Yes or not? So end points are not included. Here minus 1 is not included and here 1 is not included. Means before minus 1 and after 1, all values are there for x. So from here to here, the values which are lying in between these 2, including these 2, okay, those are excluded. So let us see how it is solved, children. So first of all, if you observe the integral, our integral, you have 2 functions. One is the sin hx and other one is the 1 by under root of x square minus 1. So according to our property, according to the properties of integrals, which you have seen in the last session, sin hx plus 1 by under root of x square minus 1 into dx is equal to, how to write this? sin hx dx plus 1 by under root of x square minus 1 into dx. Means we are splitting them into two integrals. Okay, so here it is what it is a for this function we have directly we have a formula. What is the integral of sin hx? Just now I have shown you. What is that formula? Cos hx. What is the integral of sin hx? Cos hx plus integral 1 by under root of x square minus 1 is nothing but what? Log x base e plus under root of x square minus 1 plus c. So what is this here? How can I write this? Let us see here. How can we write this formula here? Let us see. Since integral 1 by under root of x square minus 1 into dx is equal to log base e x plus under root of x square minus 1 plus c on I subset to r minus 1 comma minus 1 comma 1 closed interval. This is the formula what you have seen in the 12th formula, last one of our 12th formula. Okay, so that means what here? This is the at this interval, means excluding these values, this is the integral value. But here in our case the interval is something different. Not we are not seeing like this, but the meaning is same. So what is that? Minus infinity comma minus 1 union 1 comma infinity is nothing but what? R minus closed interval minus 1 comma 1. Means what, children? From the real number set, if you eliminate the values from minus 1 to 1, okay, including minus 1 and 1, that's why we are writing here closed interval. So excluding these values, what are the values left is nothing but what? Before minus 1 is from minus infinity to minus 1, and here after 1 means 1 to infinity open intervals. So these values are there and these values are there. So this union of these two intervals is nothing but r minus 1 comma 1, which is our formula. So that's why we have written this as our integral for this function. Clear, children? So let us write the final answer. What is there for the given sum? Therefore, sin hx plus 1 by under root of x square minus 1 dx is equal to cos hx plus log x base e log x plus under root x square minus 1. Clear, children? So this is the formula. This is the final answer what we got. Now here, let us see another sum, children. Evaluate 1 by cos hx plus sin hx. See, children, integration, I have to understand it clearly, children, because sums are having different methods. It's not like just like differentiation. Differentiation means we are doing all the sums we do in almost in same way, similar way. Yes or not? Only directly applying the formula and just we differentiate. But integration is not like that, children. You have to do each sum is solved in different way. So you have to understand the method of solving clearly, children. Clear? So let us see the solution. First of all, what is the question here? Evaluate 1 by cos hx plus sin hx. So in the denominator, what do we have? 1 by cos hx plus sin hx is there. So let us see how can you solve this sum. So for this one, what we are trying to do is 1 by cos hx plus sin hx, because here the plus sign is there in the denominator, we cannot split. So not the plus sign is there in the denominator, so we cannot split into two integrals. So that's why what we are trying to do, we are trying to multiply this function with its conjugate. Conjugate means what? Multiplying and dividing with its the conjugate is nothing but the same term we have with the minus sign. Okay, 1 by cos hx plus sin hx into cos hx minus sin hx by cos hx minus sin hx. So this kind of sums learned means when you are having a irrational number, you will rationalize that one by multiplying with conjugates. So here also we should do the sum similarly. Okay. Now let us see the numerators. Let us multiply, and the denominators also we multiply. So what we get here, 1 into this one is cos hx minus sin hx by, this is a plus b into a minus b form. That is nothing but cos h square x minus sin h square x dx. Clear? So now here what is this? Cos hx minus sin hx by, in place of the denominator I am writing 1. Why it is 1, children? Because since cos h square x minus sin h square x is equal to 1. In first year you learnt it in the hyperbolic functions chapter is there. No, in that chapter you learned this formula. Yes or not? Isn't it? Do you remember? Yes, very good. So now here in place of cos h square x minus sin h square x, we are replacing 1. So what is it now? It is nothing but cos hx minus sin hx. Cos hx minus sin hx dx. Now, the means our given function is this one. Our given function is this one. Now we have got, means we have the integral where the integrand value is changed to this cos hx minus sin hx. So now here if you observe, here we have the two terms are there. First one is cos hx, second one is the minus sin hx. So let us separate them. Clear? This is the term what we got, children. Cos hx minus sin hx dx. So let us split them into two integrals. How do we split? Cos hx dx is the first function minus sin hx dx is the second function. Clear? So what is cos hx dx? Integral of cos hx dx is sin hx minus integral of sin hx is cos hx. So now here integral of cos hx is sin hx, integral of sin hx is cos hx. Now what is our final answer, children? Since these are the integral values, just now the starting of the session I have shown you the formulas now. So in that we can find out this. Integral of cos hx is sin hx and integral of sin hx dx is equal to cos hx plus c. Okay. Now then let us write the final answer, children. Therefore, integral of 1 by cos hx plus sin hx, integral of 1 by cos hx plus sin hx dx is equal to sin hx minus cos hx plus c. Clear, children? So I hope you are following the sums, children, because if you observe, the first sum is different and second sum is different. In second sum, what is a new thing we have learned, children? Here it is nothing but what you have learned. Here we are multiplying and dividing with the conjugate terms. Yes or not? So it is little different method or not? So the sum is already over, children. Let us move on to the next one. Okay. So let us see another sum, children. Evaluate integral 1 by 1 plus cos x dx. So what is the question here? Integral 1 by 1 plus cos x dx. So on this interval. Clear? So here it is 1 by 1 plus cos x means what? How do you do this sum? How do you solve this sum? It is also solved in the different same thing what you did in the previous sum. What is that, children? Multiplying and dividing with its conjugate. 1 by 1 plus cos x dx is equal to integral 1 by 1 plus cos x into 1 minus cos x by 1 minus cos x dx. So it is nothing but 1 minus cos x by 1. Here it is a plus b into a minus b, which is 1 minus cos square x dx. So it is 1 minus cos x by 1 minus cos square x is nothing but how much? It is sin square x. How do you got this formula? How did you get this formula? Using our trigonometric identity. What is that? Sin square x plus cos square x is equal to 1. It is a trigonometric identity. So from this we got this formula. Now here if you observe here, here we have two terms in the numerator and one term in the denominator. So can you split the fractions here, children? Yes, can you split it or not? So let us do that now. 1 by sin square x, 1 by sin square x minus cos x by sin square x dx. 1 by sin square x minus cos x by sin square x dx. Clear? So now what is the step? Last step we have seen, children. 1 by sin square x minus cos x by sin square x. Cos x by sin square x dx. So then what to do now? 1 by sin square x is what? Sin is reciprocal to what, children? Sin is reciprocal to cosecant, yes or not? Yes. So 1 by sin square means what now? It is nothing but cosecant square x. It is nothing but cosecant square x. So here cos x by sin square x I am writing as cosecant x into cot x. How I am writing here? Cosecant x into cot x. How did I get that? So let us see now here. How do means how you got that step? Let us see now. Okay. Here, what is the term we have, children? It is cos x by sin square x is there. Okay. This can be written as cos x by sin square x I can write as sin x into sin x. Yes or not? Sin x into sin x. So I can separate this cos x by sin x as one term into 1 by sin x as another term. So 1 by sin x is nothing but our cosecant x. Cos x by sin x is nothing but our cot x. Clear children? How did you get this? So like this we have got this term cos x by sin square x is nothing but cosecant x into cot x. Clear? So now here again here I have two integrals are there. So it means two terms are there in this integral. So here we can split the integrals. That is integral cosecant square x into dx minus integral cosecant x into cot x dx. So these are the two integrals we got. Next thing is what? What is the formula for integral cosecant square x? What is the formula, children? Minus cot x minus here integral of cosecant x into cot x is minus cosecant x. Here already one minus sign is there, children. Minus into minus becomes plus. So what is the next step here? Integral 1 by 1 plus cos x dx. This is our question. Okay, is equal to minus cot x plus cosecant x plus c. So what is the answer final integral value we got? Minus cot x plus cosecant x plus c. So like this we have to solve the sum, children. I hope everyone is following. Now let us see the interesting method, integration by the method of substitution. Okay, so what is this here by the method of substitution? What is the meaning of substitution, children? Replacing one term in place of another term. Yes or not? So here what you are going to replace, what you are going to substitute. So let us see here. What is it? What does it mean? We reduce, method of substitution is nothing but we reduce certain integrals to some standard forms by using some substitution. Means when do we do it? For suppose, if suppose a sum is given to you, if you are not able to solve it directly, means by any other method what you have seen till now, means we can multiply and divide with the conjugate, or we can split the integrals, like that we are seeing the terms, sums, no, few sums we have seen. So suppose here those things are not possible, means you are not getting any other method to do. So in such case what we do, to solve the sum, we use the method of substitution. Okay, different methods we follow. Yes or not? So if you're not getting it directly, we go for another method, that is method of substitution. So what is the meaning of it? The integrals where you cannot solve directly, those integrals are converted to standard forms. They are converted to standard forms. By standard forms are nothing but where you can apply the formula directly. Clear, children? So standard forms they are reduced by using some substitution. So what does it mean? Let us see mathematically how do you represent it. Let us see. Okay, integral of f of x dx is equal to integral of f of g of x into g dash x dx. So what is the meaning of this, children? Let me explain here. Suppose this is our function. Integral of f of x is our function. So f of x means the function is there in terms of in the variable x, whatever it may be. It can be sin x or it can be cos x, whatever it is. Here it is a function in terms of x. So here what I am doing is this function, the value x, whatever is the value x is there, that I am considering as something else, some other function. I am taking it as some g of x. I am considering that function, means in place of x I am taking as g of x. Understood? So whatever is the function I am replacing here, that whatever is a function is there here, that I am differentiating. That is nothing but g dash x. G dash x is nothing but what? Derivative of this g of x. So the same function means this is the term which is going to replace. Understood? This is the term which is going to replace. So this term, the term which is going to replace, I am considering it as some g of x, another function, another function I am taking it as a separate function I am taking, and this function has to be differentiated as g dash x. Clear? Now here it is nothing but integral of f of t dt, where t is equal to g of x. Means what? The function whatever you are taking, this which is to be replaced, that I am taking as g of x. I am considering that g of x as some variable t. I am considering that term as t. Clear? So now what I am doing, I am trying to convert my given sum which is in terms of x. The entire function is now converted to t. Understood, children? So here first it was x. This function which is going to get replaced, I am considering it as another function g of x. That g of x I am naming it as t. The g of x I am naming as t. So now here the function is, that means what? The function is again differentiated here. So now the function which is there in terms of x now is converted to t, in variable t. Now here the final integral value what we get is what? Capital F. Here I am showing the difference. It is a solution part, children. F of t plus c means the solution also you get in terms of t only. Means after you get the solution, means after you get the integral in terms of t, finally the value of t is again replaced back to x with our g of x, because our g of x is nothing but our t. Understood, children? So let me see it more clearly. Let us see it. Integral f of t dt, where t is equal to g of x, is nothing but f of g of x plus c. F of g of means in place of t, we are in place of this t, I'm writing g of x. Means in the final answer, again when you get the integral, we get back the integral. We again replace that with our g of x. Means in terms of x, again we are changing our solution. Clear? Because our question is in terms of x only, so answer also should be in terms of x only. Clear? So like this, we have to do the substitution method. So let us, it will be more clear to you children if you see the sums. So let us see one sum here. Evaluate x by 1 plus x square into dx, where x belongs to R. So what is the question here? Evaluate x by 1 plus x square into dx. So first of all, before going to the method of substitution, first of all let us see. By seeing the integral, can you solve it directly? Do you have any such formula? X by 1 plus x square, can you write as a, means any direct formula is there to solve this one? No, we don't have any such formula. Yes or not? And here, can you split the integrals here? It is also not possible because the plus sign is there in the denominator. So it is also, the splitting of the integrals is also not possible. Next, what else method we know? Conjugate, multiplying and dividing with its conjugate. So here 1 plus x square is there. So we cannot, but this term we cannot multiply and divide with its conjugate, because these are always conjugate should be done only for the means where you get 1 plus means like this squares like that. It should not be, it should not have any such terms, children. In the previous example also we have seen 1 plus cos x, cos hx plus sin hx. Two terms should be means it should be understood that like in case of 1 plus x square like that, there is no multiplying and dividing by the conjugate terms. We cannot do such for such kind of sums. Clear? So now here, how can you solve this sum then? So here till now we have seen different methods which are not possible here. So what we do, we try to solve, we try to apply here the method of substitution. So what we do here, let us see. So in this sum, let us assume this denominator 1 plus x square is equal to t. So as I said to you, this is our f of x. In this f of x, any term can be taken as separate term g of x, I told. So now here in this whole term x by 1 plus x square, I am taking this 1 plus x square as t. I am considering 1 plus x square as t. Now this is my g of x. Is it clear? This is my g of x. So now here 1 plus x square is equal to t. Now here, whatever the g of x we take, that should be differentiated. So now you have seen in this one. I'll show it again, children. Here we have seen f of x, whatever the function you are going to replace, that is nothing but our g of x. It should be taken, it should be differentiated. That is nothing but g dash x into dx. Clear? So, see, let 1 plus x square is equal to t. So this has to be differentiated. Differentiating on both sides. So whatever you do, children, you should do it on both sides. So when you are differentiating this function, what we get? You know the differentiation, no? Constant different derivative of 1 is what? 0. And what is the derivative of x square? 2x. Derivative of x square is 2x. Dx is equals to dt. Clear? So now here you may get it out. We didn't do the differentiation like we didn't do in the first year differentiation like this, or not? So how we got this? Let me explain you here, children. 1 plus, what is our function here? 1 plus x square is equals to t. So when you are differentiating on both sides with respect to x, because here what is a variable, children? X is our variable. So with respect to x, we are differentiating. So constant is 0 only, and the x square, if you differentiate, what we get? 2x is equal to, when you differentiate this t with respect to x, what we get? Dt by dx. Yes or not? So this dx will go to other side. It becomes now 2x dx is equal to dt by dx. Sorry. This 1 second, children. So 2x dx is equal to what, children, here? Dt. So instead of doing like this, 2x is equal to, instead of doing like this, 2x is equals to dt by dx, and then writing, and then sending this dx this side, what we do in differentiation, in integration, what we do, children? Directly we write it as 2x dx is equals to dt. So make a habit of this. Clear? So both are same only. This dx only we are sending this side. So it is not means here, instead of doing every time this step and again going to this step, we can directly do this step only. 2x dx is equals to, what is this here? It is nothing but dt. Now here, if you observe here in our sum, the numerator, what do we have, children? X dx is there. X into dx is there. So here what we got? 2x dx we got. So in this 2x dx, our x dx is our numerator or not? Yes. So this only 2 is extra here. So let us send the 2 other side. So what it becomes now? X dx is equals to dt by 2. Now here, so then that means what here? In our sum, in the numerator, in place of x dx, we can replace this dt by 2. Yes. Yes. And in place of this 1 plus x square, we can replace t. Yes. So now let us do that. Integral of x by 1 plus x square into dx is equal to integral x dx by 1 plus x square is equal to x. In place of x dx, I am writing dt by 2, and in place of 1 plus x square, I am writing t. Now if you observe, this was our function, given function, and now I have this function is reduced to another function, another simple function, which is in terms of t. Yes. How did you get this? By substituting one term, that is 1 plus x square, to other variable. Considering this as another variable, I'm transfer and it is differentiated and it is reduced to a simple function where you have a direct formula for this. So here 1 by 2 is a constant which is written outside. Yes, 1 by 2 is written outside into 1 by t into dt. We can write it as 1 by t into dt, children, or directly dt by t also we can write. Okay, both are same. Now let us see here. What is our step, children? X by 1 plus x square dx is equal to 1 by 2 into dt by t we got. So what is dt by t? Nothing but 1 by t into dt. As I said, what is the integral of 1 by t? 1 by x we learned, that is nothing but log x. Here the variable is t. Here we get the term also in terms of t. That is nothing but log t. Half into log t plus c. Clear? Now how did you get this? Since integral 1 by x dx is equal to log mod x plus c, where x is not equal to 0. Clear, children? So, and what is another one here? We know that 1 plus x square is t. As I said you, the answer also should be, when the question is there in terms of variable x, the answer also should be in terms of variable x only. But here what did you get? It is in terms of t. Now here the last step is what? Here we have to replace this t. Means we have to get back to our answer or solution in terms of x. So what is t now? T is nothing but 1 plus x square, what you have assumed. So let us replace that. Integral x by 1 plus x square dx is equal to 1 by 2 into log 1 plus x square plus c. Is it clear, children? So this is a use of substitution method where you cannot solve directly. There you can use the substitution method, and always remember, children, how to take, means you may get it out. How can you know that which element, which term has to take taken as the t? Okay, always remember, children, whatever the term you take as t, that after differentiating, that should give you the numerator, or sometimes every time you may not have fraction, children. Every time you may not have fraction, directly only the numerator terms may be there to you. So the terms, the x terms, whatever are left in the function. Understood what I'm telling? See, what any term you can consider as t. Clear? So, but how can you choose that one? By taking that term as t, you have to differentiate that. So when you differentiate that, the remaining elements, the remaining terms, whatever are there in terms of x in the given function, that all should go with dt. That entire term should go with dt. That should become dt. As in this sum, we have got x into dx as dt by 2 we got now. So like that we have to get. So like that we have to select the terms. So let us see one more example. By seeing more number of sums and by doing more number of sums, you can easily know how can you take the terms as terms for substitution, children. So let us see another sum, children, here. Evaluate integral e to the power of tan inverse of x, e to the power of tan inverse of x by 1 plus x square into dx, where I is subset to 0 comma infinity. Now this is our question. So what is the integral value here, integrand value here? E to the power of tan inverse x by 1 plus x square. So again here also it is not, we don't have any direct formula like this. So what we do here, children, if you observe here, it is the denominator we have 1 plus x square. Nothing but what is it is nothing but 1 by 1 plus x square. So not. So what is 1 by 1 plus x square? For which function it is a integral value? E to the power of tan inverse x by 1 plus 1 by x square is equal to e to the power of tan inverse x into 1 by 1 plus x square. So this is a separate term we have. So what this 1 by 1 plus x square is the derivative of which function? See, the mathematical statement I have shown you in the previous slides. It is our f of g of x. It is our g dash of x into dx. So that means what? This should be the derivative of some function. So what is the, which means whose derivative is this 1 by 1 plus x square? Do you remember the formula? Derivatives? Yes, it is nothing but tan inverse of x. So if you differentiate the tan inverse x term, we get 1 by 1 plus x square. Yes or not? So let us see here. Let tan inverse x should be taken as t. So like that, you have to check, children. By considering this as t, the remaining x term. See, this is one x term and this is one x term. If you take this as t, will this go? Means the derivative of this is this one? No. But if you consider this as t, this is the derivative of that. Yes or not? So that means by taking this as t, this term will go into the into derivative form and becomes dt. Clear? So like that you have to check and select. Let tan inverse x is equals to t. Now what is the next step here? It is differentiating on both the sides. Differentiating on both sides with respect to x. So what is the derivative of tan inverse x? 1 by 1 plus x square. 1 by 1 plus x square dx is equal to dt. As I said earlier, dt by dx is nothing but dx will go here. So we can directly write like this, children. So 1 by 1 plus x square dx is equal to dt. So in this function, this whole term, 1 by 1 plus x square dx, this whole term becomes now dt. Clear? So now what is our function here? Integral e to the power of tan inverse x. E to the power of tan inverse x by 1 plus x square dx is equal to integral e to the power of tan inverse x into 1 by 1 plus x square. This was our function, is equal to, how it is changing now? E to the power of t. In place of tan inverse x, I am replacing t. Into this whole term is now dt now. So in place of this entire term, I can write dt. So it is now converted to standard form or not? Yes, it is a direct formula. Integral of e to the power of x is how much? E to the power of x. So like this, we can get the directly, we can get the answer. So this is our term, children, we got. This is our given function, and this is a function to what it is reduced, that is e to the power of t. Integral of e power x dx is equal to e power x plus c, we know. So it is nothing but here e to the power of t plus c. But our answer should be in terms of x, because our integral is, our question is in terms of x. So what is the t value? Means what you have assumed as t? Tan inverse x, yes or not? Since tan inverse of x is equal to t, we replace here. So which is equal to e to the power of tan inverse of x by e to the power of tan inverse of x by 1 plus x square into dx is equal to e to the power of tan inverse x plus c. E to the power of tan inverse x plus c. Now this is your solution. So like this you have to understand which term to be taken as considered as t. So only the thing, remember children, whatever the term you can consider as taking as t, you should not be left with any more x terms in the function. The entire function should be transformed to t or z or p, whatever it is, any variable you can take children. It is up to you. Usually we take t. Clear? So, no other x terms should be left in the function. So that you have to take it. Clear? Let us see. Next, one more sum here, one more kind of sum. Evaluate secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube dx. Evaluate integral secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube into dx. So on this interval. Okay. Now let us see here, children. If you see, numerator you have secant square x. In the denominator, what do we have? 1 plus tan x. So we can consider this as t or this as t. So let us check. If you take secant square x as t, by differentiating that, do we get 1 plus tan x? 1 plus tan x, do we get the derivative of secant square x? No. Yes or no? But if you take this tan x as t, if you take this tan x as t, derivative of tan x is what? Secant square x. Isn't it? So that means by taking this tan x as t, this numerator secant square x dx will be our dt. Clear? So now here what is our term, children, which is to be substituted, which is to be considered as t? It is tan x. But here, instead of taking only tan x as t, what I am doing is I am taking 1 plus tan x as t. Why I am doing so? Because anyway, when you are differentiating, the here 1 is nothing but a constant. So the derivative of constant is 0 only, no? So even anyway, if you take 1 plus tan x as t or only tan x as t, that doesn't make any difference. Clear, children? So that's why let 1 plus tan x is equal to t. So now what is our next step? Differentiating on both sides. What do we get? Constant different derivative is 0. Tan x derivative is secant square x dx is equal to dt. Now that means our numerator term has now changed to dt. Now what is our sum now? Integral of secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube. Integral of secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube dx is equal to dt by t cube. Why I have got here cube? Because I have the term 1 plus tan x whole cube is there in our question. Yes or not? So the 1 plus tan x is our t cube. So what is this 1 by t cube? 1 by t cube is nothing but we don't have any directly, we don't have 1 by t cube formula. But what we do? It is nothing but the t cube term can be sent to numerator. So it goes to numerator, becomes t to the power of minus 3. Now it is in which form? It is in the form of x to the power of n. Isn't it? Do you remember the formula, children? X to the power of n. In the last session, we have seen that. Okay. Let us see it once again. Integral of x to the power of n dx is equal to x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. Okay. Now let us substitute in this formula. What is n value here? N is nothing but minus 3. So what is the step now? T to the power of minus 3 plus 1 by minus 3 plus 1 plus c. Okay. What is minus 3 plus 1? It is t to the power of minus 2 by minus 2 plus c. Now implies integral of secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube. Secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube dx is equal to 1 plus tan x whole to the power of minus 2 by minus 2 plus c. So here I am replacing t. T is nothing but what? 1 plus tan x. Since that's why we are replaced here t value. What is our final answer? The power minus 2 I am sending down here. It becomes plus 2. So integral of secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube dx is equal to minus 1 by 2 into 1 plus tan x whole square plus c. This power minus 2 comes down, children. And here, how did you get this? Since here, children, since t 1 plus tan x is equal to t. Yes, because 1 plus tan x is equals to t, I have replaced here. Is it clear? So now this is your solution. Understood, children? See, don't get confused. Integration is very, very simple, children, because it is very new to you. You may get little confused and don't get scared of integration, children. It is very, very interesting chapter. Only the thing is more practice is required, because you have many number of formulas and many methods are there. Only practice is required, children. If you practice more, then you'll get it perfectly. So let us see another some children. In today's class, we are seeing many different kinds of solutions, children, many different kinds of sums, methods of solving we are seeing. Integral of 1 by 1 plus sine 2x dx. So what is the other sum? Integral 1 by 1 plus sine 2x dx. So this is one more interesting sum, children. Integral of 1 by 1 plus sine 2x is there. So what we do here, integral of 1 by 1 plus sine 2x dx. How I am writing this? 1 by, this 1 I am writing as sine square x plus cos square x. Can you write it or not? Because it is a trigonometric identity. Yes. So in place of 1, we can write it as sine square x plus cos square x plus sine 2x is equal to, what is sine 2x formula? 2 sine x cos x. Okay. So why I am writing like this, children? Because sine 2x is nothing but 2 sine x cos x. If you consider this sine x as A and cos x as B, it becomes 2AB term. So just by listening to 2AB term, which comes to your mind, which formula comes to your mind? Here it is plus sign is there. So plus 2AB term. Which formula comes to your mind? It is A plus B whole square. Yes or not? That is A square plus B square plus 2AB. So then if A is sin x, then A square should be sin square x. If B is cos x, then B square should be cos square x. So it is nothing but sin square x plus cos square x, which is nothing but our 1. So that's why here I replaced this 1 with sin square x plus cos square x. Okay, plus 2 sin x cos x. Now it is in the form of A square plus B square plus 2AB. So it is written as, here this formulas I have written, children, here. These are the two formulas which you already know. Sin 2x formula, and this is the trigonometric identity. So now what it is now? Integral of 1 by sin x plus cos x whole square, A plus B whole square, sin x plus cos x whole square into dx. It is very, very important, some children. Integral of 1 by 1 plus sin 2x dx is equal to, what is the last step we have seen? 1 by sin x plus cos x, 1 by sin x plus cos x whole square into dx. Now what is the next step? Here what to do? Again here we got a term where plus is there in the denominator, where you cannot divide into separate integrals. Yes. So then what? How can you proceed with the sum? So let us see. Here one interesting thing we are going to do. Here what you are going to do here, 1 by, what I am trying to do is, in these two terms, cos x I am taking common. So if a cos x is taken common, what happens here? It becomes sin x by cos x plus 1. Whole square is there as it is. So because the square is there for the entire term, it is for cos also. So that means it is nothing but 1 by cos square x it becomes. Cos square, I am separating the powers here. Cos square x into sin x by cos x is nothing but tan x. 1 plus tan x whole square. Means I am separating the two terms here, children. It is like a into b whole square is nothing but a square into b square. As it is like that I am writing here. Cos x whole square is cos square x. It is a tan x, 1 plus tan x whole square. Now 1 by cos square x is what here? Secant square x. So not, because cos is reciprocal to secant. Is nothing but 1 by 1 plus sin 2x dx is equal to secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole square into dx. Now do you remember this term, children? Same thing what we did in the previous sum. There it was cube. Secant square x by 1 plus tan x whole cube. Same sum, children. No difference is there. Only the power difference is there. That much. Only there we had a cube and here we have 2. Okay, square we have. And the solution part is same from here onwards. So this is the term what we have, children. And here what you should do? 1 plus tan x should be taken as t. So differentiating on both sides, what we get? Secant square x dx is equal to dt. Already we have seen in the previous sum. Same sum it is. So it is integral of 1 by 1 plus sin 2x dx is equal to integral of secant square dx is nothing but dx 1 plus tan x whole square dx into dx is equal to, it is nothing but secant square dx is dt by, it is t square. So that means what? If you are sending this to the numerator, it becomes t to the power of minus 2. Again, we have to apply x to the power of n formula. So what is our x to the power of n formula? This we know it already. So let us apply the formula here. It is t to the power of minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 plus c. So which is t to the power of minus 1 by minus 1 plus c. So what is this one here? Let us replace t value also here, children. 1 by 1 plus sine 2x dx is equal to t. What is t? T is nothing but t 1 plus tan x whole to the power of minus 1 by minus 1 plus c. So what this minus 1 power is there here. So let us send it to the denominator so that it becomes positive. The integral 1 by 1 plus sine 2x dx is equal to 1 minus 1 by 1 plus tan x. This minus I'm sending to numerator, children. 1 by minus 1 by 1 plus tan x plus c. So understood, children? So this is another interesting sum. This sum is important. So always remember, children, whenever in any other sums also, when you are trying to solve, if you find, see, some standard means the tips we tell, yes or not? What is that? If you find 1 plus cos 2x, how do you write that? 2 cos square x. If you find 1 minus cos 2x, what do you write? 2 sin square x. Similarly, if you find 1 plus sin 2x term anywhere, so what we do usually, this 1 is replaced as sin square x plus cos square x, and the sin 2x is 2 sin x cos x. So that should be remembered, children. Okay, so wherever you find this kind of term, the sum should be solved like this only. So let us see one more important rule what you are going to see now. What is that is, if f maps from I to R be a non-zero differentiable function, then f dash x by f of x has an integral on I, and integral f dash x by f of x dx is equal to log f of x plus c. So that is what here, it is a very important important rule, children, where you can directly, if the given integral is of this form, you can directly write the solution. It means instead of solving, instead of taking something as t and differentiating and doing the same method what you have done till now, instead of that, we can directly write this as log f of x. What is that? If the function is there as integral f dash x by f of x, means here condition is that f should be a non-zero differentiable function. Means because here f is there in the denominator now, so it should not be a zero function. Means the denominator should not be zero, because if it is zero, then there is no meaning for the function. It becomes undefined. So that's why it should be a non-zero differentiable function. Why I'm saying it is differentiable? Because there must be f dash x is nothing but what? Derivative of this one, no? So it must be differentiable, means derivative should exist for this. So that is a condition. If f dash x by f of x is there, then what is the integral value for this, children? Log f of x plus c. Directly we can write the answer. Means if you can observe that the derivative of the denominator is the numerator in any given function, the derivative of the denominator is the numerator, then what is the solution? What is the integral value? Log f of x plus c. Like this we can write. This is very important rule and very much useful. So let us see here. Let us see one sum. Evaluate integral 6x by 3x square minus 2 into dx. What is the question here? Evaluate integral 6x by 3x square minus 2. So if you see here, what this is a numerator and this is a denominator. So first we have to check whether the denominator, if you differentiate the denominator, are you getting the numerator or not? Clear, children? So if you differentiate the denominator, are you getting the numerator or not? We have to first check up. Let us see. Let us verify it. In this function 6x by 3x square minus 2 into dx, what you are doing here, children? Let f of x is equal to 3x square minus 2. I am assuming it as 3x square minus 2. Okay. So what is this here? F dash x is equal to 6x. Clear? So what is this, children? Integral, this t is, let f of x is equal to 3x square minus 2, and this f dash x is equal to 6x. Clear? So let us write the given sum again. Integral of 6x by 3x square minus 2 into dx is equal to integral. What we got, children? 6x is nothing but what? It is our f dash x. And what is this 3x square minus 2? It is our f of x. So it is in that form or not? Just now we have discussed the rule, no? It is in that form, f dash x by f of x. Then what will be our answer? It should be log f of x. Log f of x plus c. What is our f of x here? 3x square minus 2. It is nothing but 3x square minus 2 plus c. So this is our answer. So here, children, this small correction, children. This t is not there here. This t is not there. Okay. Don't write that t. Okay. So let f of x is equal to 3x square minus 2. Means I am considering this denominator as f of x and I'm trying to differentiate this. And here, what you have got it as 6x, which is there in our numerator. That is nothing but f dash x by f of x into dx we got. The what is according to our rule, what you have learned just now, it is log f of x plus c. Nothing but log 3x square minus 2 plus c. Understood, children? So if you can observe any function in the form that is written as log, directly we can write the answer. Is it clear? So what is our answer here? Final answer is 6x by 3x square minus 2 into dx is equal to log 3x square minus 2 plus c. So this is your final solution. Clear, children? So now here with this important rule, one interesting thing we are going to learn now. But that is, we are going to find out integral of tan x. See, till now you know the formulas for integral of sin x, we know integral of cos x, we know integral of secant square x, we know cosecant square x, we know. Yes or not? But till now you didn't see the formula of integral of tan x. So how do you find out this integral of tan x? We are using the formula just now what you have learned, the rule what you have seen just now. Using that, we are trying to find out integral of tan x, children. Clear? So how can I write this integral of tan x? Tan x can be written as sin x by cos x. Integral of sin x by cos x dx. Now here, if you see, if you observe this term, the denominator is cos x. The derivative of this is sin x or not? But minus sign is there. Okay, but if you see here, if you just keep that minus sign aside, then cos x derivative is sin x or not? So you can consider this as f dash x by f of x. So let us see how it can be done. Let f of x is equal to cos x. What I am taking? Let f of x is equal to cos x. Now, I'm trying to differentiate that. That is, in f dash x is equal to minus sin x. So what you are getting here, integral f dash x by f of x, f dash x by f of x is equal to what? Minus sin x by cos x. F dash x value is minus sin x we got, and f of x is our cos x according to our assumption. Okay, it is nothing but our sin x by cos x is tan x now. So minus sign, if I'm writing here, that is minus tan x it becomes. So f dash x by f of x is equal to how much I'm getting? Minus tan x. Okay. So, but what is our integral, children? What is our question here to find out? Tan x. That means only this minus sign is extra here. So I can write this minus sign before the integral or not. So integral of sin x by cos x dx is equal to what I have got? Minus f dash x by f of x I got. This value, integral of sin x by cos x is nothing but this minus sign I'm writing in front of this. So I got it as minus f dash x by f of x is equal to minus, I can write in outside the integral. Minus is nothing but minus 1. Okay. So we have a formula now. K into f of x. Integral k into f of x is equal to k is sent outside. K into integral of f of x. So according to that rule, we can send this minus sign outside. Minus into f dash x by f of x into dx plus c. Okay. Now what you are getting here, let us see the same step I'm writing here. So this is the term what we have got. Now here it is integral of sin x by cos x, which is nothing but tan x. This is our given question what you are going to find out. So which is equal to what you are getting, minus of f dash x by f of x we got. So which is nothing but minus f dash x by f of x is nothing but what, log f of x now. So log f of x plus c. So but what is our f of x? Cos x. We have considered cos x as our f of x. So minus log cos x plus c. So this minus term, minus is nothing but minus 1. So we have a logarithmic rule. What is that logarithmic rule? M log x. What is that logarithmic rule, children? M into log x is equal to what? Log x to the power of m. Yes, do you remember this formula? M log x is equal to m log x to the power of m. According to this m can be sent to the power. So here what can be sent as a power? This minus 1 can be sent as a power. So cos x to the power of minus 1 is nothing but 1 by cos x. 1 by cos x is nothing but what? 1 by cos x is nothing but secant x. So we can write this minus log cos x as log secant x. So now what is the formula for integral of tan x, children? Integral of tan x is nothing but log secant x plus c. Is it interesting or not? We are using that rule what you have learnt. Integral of f dash x by f of x dx is equal to log f of x. According to that rule, using that rule, we have derived the formula for integral of tan x. Okay, so similar to this method, what you have done till now. Similarly, we can find out other integrals also. Just I'm writing the formulas directly here, children. We can try the sums. Same thing what you have done now, same thing in that same method we can solve. Similarly, integral of cot x also we can find out. Is nothing but log sin x plus c we get. Cot x means what? How do we write? As cos by sin. Same way we take sin x as f of x. So similarly we can do that. That is nothing but log sin x plus c we get. Similarly, and what else we get? Integral of secant x dx. Integral of secant x dx is equal to log secant x plus tan x. Integral of secant x plus tan x plus c, and log tan x tan into pi by 4 plus x by 2, pi by 4 plus x by 2 plus c. So these are the two formulas we have for this secant x, children. So this log secant x plus tan x is written as tan pi by 4 plus x by 2. Okay. So now next one is one more formula also we have. Integral of cosecant x dx. Integral of cosecant x dx is equal to log cosecant x minus cot x. Log cosecant x minus cot x plus c, and another formula is log tan x by 2. Tan x by 2 plus c. So this is another formula. So these are the means same what we did for finding tan x, integral of tan x. The same method can be applied here also, children, to find out integral of cot x, integral of secant x, integral of cosecant x. So these are the formulas. So you have to remember, children. In every class you are getting some formulas. So always try to write again and again. I'm telling children, write the formulas many number of times. Practice more. Be thorough with the formulas, because the entire integration is based on formulas only. If you know the formulas, then only you can solve the sums. Clear? So let us see what have we learned in today's class, children. I hope everyone understood the class, children. Once again, you can see the video to have a more clear understanding. So let us see what have we learned in today's class. Standard formulae of integration. So few formulae we have seen today, and integration by method of substitution we have seen. And next, what else we have seen, children? Integration of algebraic and trigonometric functions. So some algebraic functions and trigonometric functions we have done integration sums. Okay. So what is this substitution method? Just once again I will let us discuss. Integral of f of x dx is equal to integral of f of g of x into g dash of x dx. Means whatever the term we take as g of x, the remaining terms, whatever the x terms are left, those all should become your g dash x into dx. Like that you have to select your g of x. Okay. So the selection of g of x should be in such a way that the remaining x terms should become g dash x dx, because there no other x term should be left in the function. So which is nothing but integral of f of t dt. The entire function is turned into t, which is equal to f of t plus c. The function, the solution what we get, the integral value what we get is in terms of t. So the answer again, the answer step again, the t should be replaced with x. Whatever the x value we are taken as t, that should be again replaced back. Clear, children? So like this. And next, let me give you some practice questions, children. Try to solve these questions. Within some 2 or 3 days, or within this week, we try to give the solutions also for these questions, children. Until then, don't depend on the solutions, children. First, you try the solutions. Then we are trying to give you the solutions only so that you can verify your answers. Okay, it is not that you just totally depend on the solutions and without trying. So first you try, children. Until you try, you won't get anything, children. Remember that. Try. Okay, so let us see the first sum. Evaluate 1 by x log x into log of log x dx. So what is this here, children? X log x is there. By taking which term as t, the rest of the x terms will become dt. So will become the derivative of that function. So try to see by taking which term. X log x is there, inside log of log x is there. So by taking which term as t and differentiating, we'll get that the remaining terms as dt. Check it. Second one is evaluate e to the power of x into 1 plus x by cos square into x into e power x. So it is also same, children. Don't get scared by seeing this function. It is very simple sum. Only for seeing only it is like that, but it is very simple. If you take this x into e to the power of x as t, it is in the UV method as the product of x into e to the power of x. Do you remember UV method formula? UV function formula in for differentiation. Yes, so apply UV method, UV formula, and differentiate this. This entire term will become dt, children. E power x into 1 plus x dx will become dt. So very simple sum it is, and very important sum. Okay, and next one is evaluate cos root x by root x dx. So here also root x can be taken as t, and try to solve the sum. Next one is what? Evaluate e to the power of x into sine e power x dx. So here also it is very simple sum. I don't think I should tell the term which is taken as t here. So you can try it. Clear, students? These are the sums which are given you for practice. Okay, so try to do the sums, children, and don't depend on the answers what I am going to give in a few days. Okay, first you try, then you can check your answers. Hope the class is interesting and understood very much clear, children. So let me meet you in the next session, children. Okay, so thank you, children. Have a good day. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Deepa madam is here to give you the conclusion.
I don't know.
Thank you, children. Please revisit. Very important topic is discussed today. The problem solving session of indefinite integration is given to you. Only the 4 problems are given. Madam has solved a few problems. Please do these problems. Solutions link will be given. You can once again go through the solutions links. Thank you so much. Thank you, madam.